Yes, of course. Oh, they'll be totally discreet. Thank you. We got one!
Hello and welcome to my second run for the day. I've got a rather interesting story to tell about a gentleman who's, at least I think it's in him, has been quite busy trolling quite a few people. I checked with Whirled and identified that this person had been giving Will's channel, the final experiment, a bit of a hammering. He's been quite unsociable, and I decided to do something called a Drongo Dossier. The Drongo Dossier is a reference to an Australian term where we talk about someone that isn't very smart and does really dumb things. So this is my first Drongo Dossier, and I'd like to introduce you to somebody who calls themselves the new Real World Order, misspelled, of course, to act as a wordplay. So let's go to the place where we're going to see this, and we'll work our way through all the Drongo stuff that this person has done. I did a short video. I just wanted to do a little bit of time on screen for the final experiment and make my own personal commitment that I would stop knocking people out there. Now, this is a really important thing because for me, if the final experiment proves that I'm wrong, I have to change my stance. I have to think about what I'm doing and start going back to why it's not right. And my first comment was from a guy called Petey. He's now out of the secrets, of course, but Petey was the first commenter. It just says, people doing this in Big Globus, and all of a sudden this individual with this name, the Real New World Order, RNWO, has come in to just make some noise. First statement that this person makes is a blurt out of many, many words that don't have a lot of meaning, and ends with the no one's ever seen it, I've never seen it, neither has anyone else. Now, that isn't true. There are plenty of satellites up there, there are people who've been up there, and they're not all military, they're all NASA. This is a consistent point they try to make, because everything's a conspiracy, everything is fake. I used to work in the aviation sector, and I specifically worked on avionics. This is what you really would expect from these guys, but oh well, they want to behave like that, that's up to them. I might just boost my mic volume because it doesn't seem to be giving the full volume all the way through. Now, let's have a look what he has to say. Then he comes back before I've even said anything, and never evidence that space is what we're told. Yep, okay, so there's a gradient, there's a pressure gradient. That's the first thing that gives you a clue. The fact that you can get to a point where the atmosphere stops being breathable is another clue, that there's something going on that is not related to a container. But he keeps up his little bit, so I come back and said, gee, you sound like Leo. Here's a thought, how about a bit of technology? Has that technology got electrons flowing through it? Can you see them in the film? Nothing. Oh, well, and I did throw out the words, all you've done is repeat the words of your Papa Flirt, that's all I need to know about you. And then he starts on. And yeah, okay, I admit that was probably triggering the person, but he kind of got the message about you can't see it, you can't feel it, doesn't make it fake. So he continues on a bit of a tirade about we've only gone down so far, but earthquakes are bullshit, ground penetrating radar go down so far. He's ignoring the fact that you can figure the shape of things out in a micro scale, because that's how we did some experiments. We figured out the shape of things by running electrons or protons or other particles through the sample and watching what came out the other side. We went straight through, we didn't hit something, we went off an angle, we hit something. That's basically how we worked out the shape of the side. Yeah, just no idea. Then he throws another one, then another one. And he just keeps going. Regarding some, trying to find a working demonstration of hitting the light source going through a vacuum. Well, there's nothing there for it to hit up. But I didn't go off answering him straight away. I just waited and he just kept coming and kept coming. Kept coming, kept coming. Kept coming with more and more absolute nonsense. So I went, okay, yes, I have looked at stars through a telescope. Right? It's obviously something he hasn't done. Right? He's trying to argue they're close, but most of us do not have the money to afford precision devices to measure very small change in how Earth goes round. So most people won't be able to measure. So everyone's saying it's got to be repeatable by all. Well, if you've got the money to buy the instrument to do those kind of measurements, you're in a very unique position to most other people on the planet. Most of us are struggling to live. Well, not most of us. A number of us are struggling to live. Some of us are comfortable, but we couldn't afford those instruments anyway. Basically, telling people they have to go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to do an experiment to satisfy them. They need to sponsor it. So, Mr. Real New World Order, come up with the money and I'll buy the instrument. But you be prepared to pay some pretty high prices. Simple as that. Yep. So I come back and say, gee, you sound like Daniel Pratt now, because he does. He talks a lot like Daniel Pratt. You get it further down, there's that very condescending, oh, but please, don't use math as proof. Wait a minute. Math is taking a model, showing us how to make a prediction. We can say, like, throw the stone. He's saying, well, use the right formula. Oh, I can predict how far it's going to go. And yeah, they ignore that. So he just kept coming. So I turned for a little help from the appropriate resource, and away I went. And I started getting in a plane with some supposedly star. Yep. Plane. I would demonstrate heat pipe source and go in the thought experiment. Don't give me a thought experiment, I don't want that. Well, you can't think for yourself. Keep repeating what other people have told you. You're never going to figure it out. Right? It's not about getting an education. There's a guy in Australia, Western Australia, who has seen with his own eyes the movement of the stars. He started thinking something's going on here. As he investigated, no special tools, no computers, satellites, he started understanding what was happening. He figured that out without even looking at a textbook. He ended up building a model out there in WA, and he takes people on star tours. He shows them the different stars, points things out to them for the 2 or 3 hours that they're out there. You get the impression that you lie in your bed and stare at the little stars on the ceiling that Mum put up there, and you're still staring at them 50 years later. You are a Drongo. Simple as that. You need to wake up the fact that you're not going to be what you think you are by acting the way you have. So here's a little something for you to think about.
What's that American expression? If the shoe fits, you must wear it.
In any case, you're a flat earther. You've tried to be one. You're trying to be chummy ones. I found your outputs in other places. So after doing big, long responses going through a whole pile of things, then I gave him another one. Nice and long. Here's your claims. Here's the results. Here's some URLs you can go look at. He decided he didn't like something and come back there. Another question about the vacuum pressure. Such nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Yep. Yeah, so he doesn't like anything he's been told. Eventually, he got down to the point where claiming he's looked up, hasn't really thought about what he's been saying at all. Right, and I don't want to take on his word, blah, 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 blah. Blindly trusting others. God's best the first, but blindly trusting others. I didn't blindly trust anyone else. I looked at things, people told me things. But I've been observing things since I was probably 5 or 6 around the start. I could lay out on the lawn at night at my home when I was growing up. I could look at the stars. I was living in a place that was dark and I could see more stars than most people focused together. I can guarantee you, after a few months of doing that, I got to understand these stars moved. They did things that do not match what people are claiming the flat earth does. As an example, as we go around the sun. The dark side of the planet faces in different directions, all the way around. That means you see across the course of the year different stars. Some stars, if you're looking more south or more north, are kind of the same. But if you go into that band around the Milky Way, around the ecliptic plane, you will see those stars march around you and disappear. So they start on the eastern side at 6 a.m. in the morning, end up the western side by 6 a.m. in the morning. And then for 6 months a year, they're on the opposite side. You can't see them. The fact that you're missing this piece, just something you could do without any instrumentation, without a computer, and just using your brain, and you're telling us that we're done, calling us done. You really haven't understood what's going on there. In any case, I think my parting shot for this one is something like this, because when someone starts talking the way they have done like this is what I feel. Yes, I think you know what's going through my mind on that one. In any case, I think that we've got to the point where we can kind of say one more thing that is really important. I have always noticed how people in the flat earth groups just go after the old obscure stuff that has been proven to be wrong. It's kind of something like this.
Piece of advice. If you're going to rip something off, think of something a little more obscure.
Oh, okay. Call me Farbot, but they're gonna have our Mivons on a platter if we don't starburst the dries out of here.
House has been damaged. We're not going anywhere.
And of course, I've got a few new favourites now, and I like to play them a little bit because they're kind of fun. How about this one?
It tells you what I think and how I feel about you. So take a seat and listen up, cause every single word is true. Dickhead, you're such a dickhead.
In any case, congratulations, you are now the first person with a Drongo dossier just for them. Okay, on that note, it is time for me to go. Thank you very much for dropping in and listening. Enjoy your day.